quick demo of our acquisition audience builder in Marketing Pro. Then we can walk through some common examples of campaigns that you guys may find yourselves wanting to run or potentially in the need of running. And then from there, actually walk through the process of going through the build out of the rest of the campaign. Once that's done, we'll set aside some time for some Q&A and try to get through as many questions as we can. So without further ado, give me a moment here and I will bring up my screen. We can go ahead and get started. Let's get logged in here. Cool. And I am going to be doing this demo in a test account today, so forgive me if some of the data seems a little bit iffy. It is dummy data that normally is typically just reserved for the presentations. And so just to confirm, are you guys seeing Marketing Pro right now or ServiceTitan? No? Interesting. Let me give up the share and try that again. Yeah. Are we seeing Marketing Pro? Cool. Awesome. So first things first, I want to explain the concept of an acquisition audience. So up till now in ServiceTitan, you guys have been able to work in your existing database, primarily to retain or to remarket to your existing customers. That being said, there's another completely different side of the world in the marketing realm, and that's acquisition marketing or marketing to prospects that you haven't done work with before. And we heard the feedback from you guys. We understand that the list building process or the buying process can be a little bit of a pain point. So what we wanted to do was take the pain out of that process and make it really, really easy for you to identify which prospects you want to target. And we're going to do that by clicking the Create New button up here at the right-hand corner. And we're going to choose to acquire new customers. You'll see that we actually separate the audiences by the goal. So again, the audiences with the goal to retain are going to be audiences built against our existing database of customers. The audiences with the goal to acquire, obviously, are going to be those audiences that are going to be populated with new prospects. So we'll go ahead and name the campaign. Just give it a quick, simple name, demo. And what you'll notice is the marketing or the acquisition audience builder is going to open up to your local area. So I live in Glendale, which is just north of Los Angeles, and that's where we are right now. And what I know about the Glendale area is that typically some of the older homes with the wealthier occupants tend to be up here by the mountains. And so for my campaign, that's who I'm going to be targeting today. So I can either search for the specific zip code I want to reach out to, or I can just type in the city name, and then from there, make the selections of the zip codes I want to target. And as I do that, you're going to see my target area populate here and on the map. Again, apologies, this is a demo account, so it may run a little bit slow. But you'll start to see, again, those areas get targeted, and then up here at the top, we'll have our total reach calculation. What we can also do is dive in and drill into these areas up here. So as you can see, we have a total reach of about 16,594 properties. Over here on the map, we can see the clusters of these properties here. And as we zoom in to an individual area on the map, we'll start to see those clusters get smaller until we get down to the individual property level and can click in on a property flag. Clicking in on the property flag just gives you a quick snapshot of the information about the property, but it's a quick way to help validate that the data that we have within the builder is up to date and is what you'd expect it to be.
Hey, Ara, let's answer some of these questions where we're going. So Laura asked, does it say how many people per zip? So that's the reach.
We don't have a per zip calculation right now, but you get a rough idea by just taking a look at the clusters. These clusters are geocoded, so what you see within the border lines is actually pretty representative of the total reach there.
Okay. And then Chris asked, is this going to be part of the core features for Marketing Pro or something we'll have to pay for?
As it's planned right now, this is just going to be part of the core features for Marketing Pro.
Okay. And then last question, is this EDDM or can we select demos in Psycho?
So yeah, this isn't every door direct mail, and this is something I actually wanted to touch on earlier. Is with every door direct mail, you're kind of forced to reach out to every single home along the mailing route. So, for example, if you know the extension of your zip code, like in my area, it's 91205, and then my mailing route is the -1727 that comes after it. That's essentially one big giant route, and USPS is going to hit every single home along that route. And typically, what ends up happening with EDDM campaigns and the downside of them is you, one, market to a lot of people that probably aren't relevant to your campaign, and two, you generate a lot of waste. Oftentimes, marketing to somebody who isn't really relevant to your promotion can cause, some sort of disdain, or even make winning them back when they're a relevant prospect just that much harder. So it's typically something you want to avoid. Granted, there are some pretty hefty volume discounts on the EDDM side, but it's one thing to be cognizant of. It's very, very different than reaching out to a targeted list of people per se. And the analogy I like to use is EDDM is more of a machine gun, kind of like honestly, just like throw everything at the wall and hope it sticks. Whereas, you know, this approach, or using a targeted list in general, is again just a more targeted campaign. And like the analogy I really like to use is you can go fishing with a wide net and you'll catch everything, and you'll probably catch a lot of what you don't want. Or you can get the right reel and the rod and the right bait and cast out to exactly where you want your fish to be. And in a lot of cases, it doesn't make sense to send out 5,000 postcards to get, maybe 100 jobs if you could just send out 500 to the right people to net that same ROI, or to reap the same revenue from the campaign. So that's just a long-winded way of saying this is probably a lot more targeted than EDDM, and EDDM probably may generate a little bit more waste. Two fairly different concepts. And Sarah, I'm sorry, is there any other messages I may not have seen, or are we good to move on?
I have a quick question.
Go for it.
So when you're buying, sort of trying to figure out how many postcards or mailers you're going to buy, how would you determine if you don't have, I mean, I see that you can get somewhat of an idea. Would you double the, 10% more? What is how accurate are your numbers? In other words, would you do a marketing campaign and then base